Hey guys, it's Matt again, another weekend video. This time it's going to be Santana, everyone's favorite Bay Area Hispanic band, although not everybody who's been in the band has been Hispanic. Have some white people, has some African American people. Bay Area or San Francisco stalwarts since what, 69, 68 when they were playing. I had a CD of a 1968 show, which why I could not find it today, I have no idea. I couldn't find Festival or Marathon either, but that's okay. I printed those out, but I'm not going to show you the 68 show. We're going to start off with the classic debut, Santana. This is the old Sony Master Sound gold disc. This was a new thing in the rock world in 69, the year of Woodstock. Normally I would have my Woodstock poster behind me, but this time, hey, look what I've got. There's a Santana poster. Well, it's a Grateful Dead poster, Santana, Staples, singers, whatnot. That's Lee Conklin did that poster. So it's one of my favorites. And of course, they used that as the basis for the first album. There you go. Here's the quad mix, which came out in the 70s. I love how these old Santana albums sound in quad. Like I said, this is a classic. I mean, I want to say nothing sounded like this before in rock, but of course, there's the antecedents of Santana's, Latin rock fusion in Willie Bobo, because Santana would cover Bobo's songs, the Town Criers, Gabor Szabo. I mean, there's other artists who were touching upon this kind of Latin propulsive rhythmic feel. Before Santana, only he, mixed it with his guitar and made it more fusiony with rock. This is a great album. I love everything on here. It's got Evil Ways, that's the famous one, but of course their version of Soul Sacrifice on here was even bettered by the Woodstock version. So there you go. I love it. One of the great debut albums of 69, but considered by many to be their best album. Here's Abraxas. Here's the old Low Fidelity version. This is wall-to-wall classic songs. The, Black Magic Woman, Gypsy Queen track, going into Oye Como Va, that's, essential. Incident at Nishabur is great. Se Acabo, wonderful. Samba Pati is one of his best ballads. El Nicoya. I mean, I love all the instrumental stuff on these early albums. And, they had Greg Raleigh singing. And, he would later on go on to form Journey or be one of the co-founders. Michael Shrevey on drums. Was a wonderful band. Here's the quad mix of Abraxas. Like I said, most people consider this to be the best Santana album. I'm not going to quibble with that. That was 1970. In 71, we had Santana 3. Or is it just called Santana again? But since the first album is called Santana, we call this one Santana 3. Slightly more aggressive approach to their Latin rock fusion on this one. Again, I love all this. No One to Depend On. Guajira, Jungle Struts, wonderful. Everything's Coming Our Way was a hit. Para los Romperos. I mean, the first 4 Santana albums are awesome. There's the quad mix for Santana 3. If you've got a surround sound system, you should pick these up. They're wonderful. Okay, 74. Carlos starts to take his band in a more fusion-y direction. This time, not a rock, Latin fusion, but mixing that with jazz. Caravanserai was the first, and I want to say the best example of that. There's hardly any vocals on here, from what I can remember. There are no radio hits, but of the next few fusion albums he would make, this is the best one. All right. Again, quad mix. All these early Santana albums have one. All right. Or still in, they're in their prime kind of category here. Also in 72, a rather, I guess, forgettable live album, although some people like it. This is one that he did with Buddy Miles. I don't know what it's called. I can't even tell. Here it is. Just Carlos Santana and Buddy Miles live. Buddy Miles and his band get a side of this single LP, and the Santana band gets a side. It is, like I said, it's not overly great, but hey, here's the quad mix of that one as well. All right, this was at a time when anything with the Santana name was going to sell, you know, big buku, move big numbers, and so this album did okay too. All right, okay, 73. I don't know what's first, Love, Ocean, and Surrender or Welcome, so what the hell, I'll just do Welcome first. Welcome is another fusion, jazz fusion album he did more or less in line with Caravanserai, only he doesn't play as much guitar on this album. It's still nice. This one and Borboleta are kind of cut from the same cloth. I don't mind this at all. Again, no famous songs, but and it has a kind of a smooth jazz vibe on some of these numbers. I'm not the biggest fan of jazz vocals when they're making that kind of fusion music, and this is no exception. But I still enjoy it because, you know, I'm a fan of Santana in the 70s. All right, and there's the quad mix. Welcome. All right, but 1973 is still saved by, well, you know what? I think it's 74. So let's save Lotus for 74. Okay, he does an album with just Carlos, not the band, with John McLaughlin, the Speed King, you know, he of the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And this album's not bad either. I don't know if I like it any more or less than Welcome. There's certainly more guitar playing on here. I got a friend who loves this record. He thinks this is a 5-star classic. I'm not gonna go that far, but I like it, you know? They're playing homage to their mentor here. Well, not mentor, just their hero, John Coltrane. There's a Love Supreme on here. There's Naima. And, you know, the rest of the songs are pretty good too. Matt, you got the quad mix of that? Oh, but I do. Because it's available. You know, if any of these surround sound mixes are available for these early Santana albums, I bought them, folks. I bought them. Okay? All right. In 74, I'm going to do Lotus now. I don't know if it was done, released before or after Borboleta, but all the same, this is one of the great live albums of the 70s. I love it. There is a quad mix of this. I don't have it. A friend of mine does. It adds bonus tracks. It is a lengthy listen and something of an endurance test. I like the regular LP version. This is the a Japanese somewhere. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I have the Obi, but it's when you open it up. If you had the original vinyl LP, it was a triple album, by the way. It opened up to, it unfolded to all this stuff, and they reproduced that in this Japanese CD. I love the album. It is, you know, another classic Santana record from 1974. Also that year is Borboleta, which is kind of like, you know, Welcome. It's more of the same. He doesn't have that big Latin rock fusion that he did earlier because it's less rock, more Latin and jazz. Of course, it's still nice to listen to. It's wonderful background music and has a cool cover, you know. So Borboleta 1974, also in 74, which makes his third release that year, is an album called Illuminations, which he did with Alice Coltrane, you know, John's widow. All right, now this is something of a difficult listen. I don't play this album a lot. It is more on the, you know, progressive experimental vein, not progressive like prog. You know, I mean, it's fine. Oh my gosh, I thought I had the quad mix of this too. Maybe it exists and I don't own it. Anyways, that's fine. This will be the one that I show you. Illuminations, the third album to bear the Santana name in 74. Perhaps he was using up his goodwill, releasing so many records because there wasn't one, to my knowledge, in 75. All right. In 76, we had Amigos. Pretty good. About half of this works, you know, like for the Latin rock thing again, which he was kind of returning to. And then there's some funk type numbers, funk for Santana, which I'm not quite sure work. All the same, I like this record, but I only really like about half of it. All right. I've said often in my shows that 1976 was a weird year for a lot of classic rockers. They just couldn't quite get it up enough to release a fully satisfying album. And I'm going to say this falls in that category. All right, amigos. Better, well, best of all. This is one of the ones that I could not find today. So this is from 77. So I just printed this off of Discogs. Pretty good. Maybe more consistent than Amigos, but not a great album. Having said that, some of the tracks on here ended up being on Moonflower, which is also from 77. Now this was a double album. I really like this one. In many ways, this is the last really good Santana album from the 1970s. It's a good mixture of live tracks and new studio tracks, most of which work. All right. Again, I don't think there's anything that's on here that's really, oh, She's Not There is on here. Okay, the old Zombies number. Forgot about that. Now, Carlos had not had a hit on the radio, on rock radio, in years, since the third album when She's Not There was on the airwaves. So it was nice as a kid to hear that song. Whether it's better than the Zombies version or not, that's up to you. It's a different arrangement for the first thing. All right? 78, they've been with the same label, Columbia, who wanted hits. Inner Secrets is the first kind of foray into a more commercial vein. This definitely sounds more listener friendly. It's designed for the radio, which I understand, irked Carlos to have to do this, but he would do it on his own, off and on for the rest of his career anyway. I mean, what do you think his big comeback in 1999 was all about? So I don't have a whole big opinion on Intervisions. It's got some nice, what is on here? Stormy, Well, All Right. Open Invitation was the hit, right? Wham, really? Okay, so, he's doing some cover versions. It's pretty good. Here's one that, Marathon, which probably isn't even as good as Intervisions, but it was my ex-wife's favorite Santana album, which means that's why I couldn't find it today. I'll bet she took it with her when we got divorced. She played this one relentlessly, so I know this one as well as almost as I know any Santana album. What's on here? I know all these songs. Aquamarine's kind of pretty. All I Ever Wanted, of course, that was a hit. All these songs, I know them all. But again, it's that commercial Santana, which he had really begun with Inner Secrets. So, except these albums were just going gold, I think. I think Moonflower was the last one. I think that's even double platinum. So, I don't remember now whether this one, I don't think this one platinum or not. Okay, this one I can never remember the name. I downloaded this onto iTunes. I bought it, so I don't even have a physical copy of this. This one has a weird title. It is, first of all, it's credited to Deva Dip Carlos Santana, and it is, oh my God, Silver Dreams, Golden Reality. Having said that, it's pretty good. Now, he's not doing this with the Santana band. This is a solo record, but I like it. I, in many ways, like this more than I like the last two Santana albums. All right? But there's no hits on here. But he's playing guitar, and it sounds like a more serious effort. 1979. All right? Okay, I don't believe that there was one. Oh, did I show you Borboleta in Surround, in Quad? It's the last one I have, I guess. Z-Bop is 1981. Now, this was a platinum album. I'm going to stop the show with Z-Bop, because even though I have further Santana albums after 1981, I don't have them all, so, but I have them all pre-81, although I couldn't find two of them. This is pretty good. Again, by this point in time, I was in high school. He's kind of mixing everything. There's some fusion, there's some Latin rock, there's some things that sound like they could be on the radio. Over and over, Winning, I'm Winning. It seemed like there was two hits on this album, but I can't remember now. Anyway, Z-Bop, pretty good. Okay, so Santana, 1969 to 1981, fairly consistent, even though I just told you guys some of these albums are not entirely to my liking. They're all listenable. You know, about the only one that I just think is too weird to play that often is that one he made with Alice Coltrane. But even, you know, the 78 and 79 albums in their commercial vein are entertaining, you know, if you can forgive Carlos for going in that direction. I think almost anybody who has a lengthy career and has had a hit or two is going to have to succumb at some point to pressure from their label to go in a more commercial vein, a more pop direction. So, yeah, I'm going to say one of the great San Francisco bands to emerge in the 1960s. You know, Woodstock was their real coming out party. Both, you remember, Santana was on acid when he played that show. They were one of the better acts there. Then the movie came out in 1970. The movie was a big hit. The album was a big hit. Also that year was Abraxas, probably his most successful album. So that late 60s, early 70s kind of Woodstock era is when Santana got their name. And they've always kind of had that hippie ethos tied to them, but, you know, not like the Grateful Dead, but in a more, you know, Latin kind of vein where it's more third world. And I think it holds up well in the 21st century. So this was a short video, 16 minutes. Until next time, Matt signing off.